Hello. Hi.
There he is.
Jacob's having soup.
I'm having soup.
Good. I'm glad somebody is.
What's up, Compton?
Not a lot. Not a lot. I don't know if I look. Man, I look horrible on Zoom. Anyway,
We all.
I think
do.
you look good. Your eyes are shining through nicely.
Can you turn yourself up just a hair, if you can?
I definitely can as soon as I find my cursor.
You're, because I can't. I don't have a way to boost you.
I got you. Give me just a second.
You have a Twitter, don't you?
Yeah, but I never really use it. How's that? Better? Worse?
Still about the
Not
same.
enough. I can always just crank this up too. It better not be the same. I paid a lot of money for each one of those knobs.
Yeah, you sound better now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
can
you're
keep talking if you want me to. Da 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 da.
Can you hear him, Jason? You're the one who's impaired.
Yep, I can hear.
Is that better? Do I sound echoey? That's the
No.
big question. The way
No.
it's audio relayed, it could be a.
You sound smooth as butter.
Speaking of belching, I need a beverage.
Oh yeah.
All right, we're live. Everything's good.
Got my shitty headphones, so I can't get very far.
All right.
I'm getting it shared Facebook.
Got you some Dr. Pecker. That's what you got there. He just gets up and leaves. Fuck this show.
Oh, God. I should be on headliners, not open mic.
Motherfucker's eating soup.
Cientos. Sorry, my mom thought I was dying. Don't know.
I bet Compton enjoys a nice bowl of soup.
I do.
I bet you do. What's your go-to soup, Compton?
My go-to soup? Oh man. Probably something like a chicken pot pie.
That's not a soup.
Chicken pot
It is a soup. Progresso makes a chicken pot pie soup, and it's my go-to.
Oh man, I'm already recording. We're talking about soup because Jacob's like, I'm eating soup.
Yeah, I get chicken pot pie as chicken pot pie, but Progresso makes a chicken pot pie soup, and that's my go-to.
How do you have a pot pie without like a flaky crust? That wouldn't it just be chicken soup at that
That's a
point?
question for Progresso, my man.
I'm gonna write them a letter. I'm writing them a letter tonight. They're like, this is bullshit.
Dude, you're being the male version of a Karen right now. You're being a Calvin.
At least I'm not the one
Calvin.
eating soup while we're trying to
Well,
record.
I'm done with the soup now, sir.
All right,
Thank you very much.
We're already
professionals.
recording. Go ahead and do our little ad read. We got a sponsor this month.
Ooh.
What?
All right. You want to give me a countdown, or am I just
Oh,
going to go?
we're good to go. Just go. I'm not cutting any of this.
Okay. Thank you to our sponsor, Aquaries, which consists of a team of creatives headed by comedian Patty Dwyer and musicians Zach Perkins and Dalton Roan. They specialize in entertainment, photography, filming events, producing music videos, mixing music, as well as producing and hosting comedy shows like the one next week, February 12th, at B-Lux in Biloxi, Mississippi, featuring myself, Jacob Craig, as well as AJ Bell, Ryan Adams, and Cody Calebra. This last Wednesday, they shot a music video for local rapper Knuckle Nate, which will drop very soon. Message any of them for rates. Again, that's Patty Dwyer, Zach Perkins, or Dalton Roan. And a dedicated page is in the works. Also, tune in to Chromecast on February 28th to watch them talk shop and have too much to drink. And as always, thank you to our Patreon supporter, Mr. Ernie Kinnemer. And if you want to be as awesome as Ernie and support us on Patreon, go to www.openmikers.com. Play the music.
You know what that music means? It is Thursday night, and it is time for the Open Micers podcast. My name is Jason Robbins.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm Jacob Craig, boy. And our guest tonight is the
Z.
one, the only, the Mobile comedy legend. Just came back. He's killing it. He's producing shit over in Florida. We're going to talk to him about it all. Mr. Compton Smith, how are you doing today?
Doing great, man. Doing great.
Thank you for matching our energy.
Very well.
You're the sun to my moon,
Dude,
Compton.
it's like an old man night. Like we get on the show, Jacob's eating soup, and Compton's like, whatever.
Well, when it's just the radio voice, then I'm gonna bring the energy to match it.
Oh yeah, nice and smooth. Like you feel. I feel like you're about to break out some smooth jazz. Like you're just
We
like,
could do that.
we're
I got
here.
a tuba right over in the corner. We could do that.
Late night with
And-
Compton.
Yeah, I feel like you're like a late night DJ that's like trying to passively kill truckers by just putting them to sleep so that they'll just run off the road. Because like a trucker fucked your wife one time or something, and you're just like, I hate truckers now.
Route 66 Lullabies here with Compton J. Smith. Thanks for tuning in. We're gonna help you get to sleep tonight. Yeah, I could do that.
Oh yeah, get that ASMR, boy.
Dude, I have a confession to make right here on the show.
Think about that.
I've been waiting for the. I couldn't wait for tonight's show because here's the thing. You two guys, like Compton, is my man crush. You've been my man crush for about a year now because you and Jacob both. I don't know if you guys know this, or if you do this, but when we're doing open mics or whatever, I'm only playing for like one or two people. I'm playing for either you or another person. Like if Jacob's in the room, I'm playing for him. If Compton, if you're in the room, I'm playing for you. Because if I can make you two guys laugh, like if I'm up there doing a new bit and I hear Jacob cackling from the back of the room, I know I've hit on something good. And if I see you doing like throw your head back and laughing, Compton, I know I've hit on something funny. Do you guys do the same thing?
What
No,
do you-
I ignore the fuck out of everybody.
And I have a crush on you because like you're so manly. Like you walk around like
Well,
yeah, I wear a kilt, motherfucker. What are you gonna do? And like you just rock it, man.
Well, I'll give you a good example of that going horribly wrong. I was in Birmingham on Tuscaloosa at Eugene Henry's show, and it was my first time there. And I made the mistake of forging ahead with material when what I should have been doing was playing to the room. So sometimes, best laid plans don't always work out real great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
So-
I play to certain people. I
The fucking
definitely
attitude
play.
can get you in trouble. That's what I'm getting after.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think people's attitudes get themselves in trouble a lot in stand-up comedy. Because there are a lot of us who just don't give a fuck about anyone's feelings
No.
at all.
But
You only can for so long, because like Jason was saying, if you're at an open mic, the level of interaction, I mean, first off, comics don't laugh at shit. That's not usually why most comics are there, which is understandable because at an open mic, people are worried about their set. They're going to get up and do their time. So comics are notoriously not the best audience, which I get what you're saying. It is rare. If you can make a room full of comics laugh, then that's a keeper. That's a really good joke, for sure. But at the same time, it's not always pretty. It's an open mic. I think that's what you were talking about, right, Jason?
yeah, because that's the thing. Is like most of the time, it's really hard to make other comedians laugh, and we're. And I don't. I feel like sometimes I'm pretty judgmental of other comics.
Oh, I am too, for sure.
But if I can
Dude,
make
some of these people out here sucking, bro.
Dude, I've been the one sucking.
no,
Yeah, I think part of what we do is judge. Like that's kind of what we get paid for, is to be a good judge of what's funny or how to make something funny, or a perspective that's funny. And so in a way, comics should be the most rigorous litmus test for good material. But it's hard not to see someone doing something that you do and not make comparisons. It's kind of the way that we're wired, is to be judgmental.
Exactly.
The biology forces it. It's how you spin it that you get something beneficial or negative out of it, I guess.
Yeah, that's why I can only watch like open mic comedy for so long before I have to go outside because I'm like that person's doing what I do, but way worse, and I just can't handle it anymore.
Yeah, I've I've heard a couple of horror stories. People being on the road and they show up and somebody opens for them and it doesn't go well, and it can be a rough spot to be in, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I keep since I bombed recently, and we all bomb, but when you bomb recently, it's like how soon can I get on stage and make up for that? Like, that was not fun. So I keep playing the devil's advocate on this one because I bombed recently.
Yeah, I bombed the other night pretty hard. I mean, it wasn't bad, but stuff I had done the week before at an actual showcase, which rocked the house, and then I tried it again, and I did it Friday night too at our the thing last Friday. I tried the same set again on Tuesday, and it was crickets, man. And it was rough. I was just like, ugh. And I've seen people get pissed on stage too. Like, I've never gotten like actually pissed like at the audience. I've seen comics actually like berate the audience. I'm just like, I'm just not that aggro, I guess.
I've done it.
I've seen you do it.
I've seen you do it.
Yeah.
I've seen Jacob do it. I've seen
Oh,
both
I've done
you
it for
guys
sure.
Usually I'm just like, whatever. I'll get it next time.
Well, I get distracted. I get so distracted that if I can't think past the distraction, then I'm just mad, and my default is angry. So if I'm in a bad place already, it's gonna get dark real quick.
Yeah, that's how I was at Friday's show, dude. I was about to blow up because the sound guy kept fucking up the sound like in the middle of everyone's sets, like in the middle of my set too. And it's like I kept getting distracted. I'm like, man, you're making it to where I can't remember my jokes.
Yeah.
How is anyone else in this room gonna remember my jokes?
That's not good.
Luckily, I have a loud voice, so I think I could have done my set even if I didn't have a mic. So,
Yeah, luckily.
Compton sound goes unnoticed. Bad sound can clear a room in an instant.
Oh yeah.
Oh, for sure, dude. Sound is so key, and it's also so easy to get right that when people get it wrong, I'm like, bro, come on, man. All you need is the right volume.
Yeah. And it's always like, it always seems like, I don't know, when you're in a room that was a pretty big room that we were in, and there wasn't that many people there. I mean, it was a good bit of people there, but the room's so big it doesn't look like anybody's there. And you have a room that big with that little of people, it's hard to get the sound to where it's not like overly bright and it's like bouncing off the walls back at you. But at the same time, it's like when you're speaking into a microphone and it sounds like I don't know, it sounds like there's like you're talking through cotton or something. It's like it's real beefy and it sounds like this. It's like, man, do something. Like, turn some knobs, man.
Turn the compressor off.
Yeah.
For crying out loud. Nobody needs that nonsense. Yeah, that's the worst. Being an audio engineer and then stepping into somebody else's mess, seeing some of the stuff that people do to make that situation worse. It's just, don't complicate it, man. I mean, in a way, Jacob's right. Just set the volume level correctly, and it'll be okay. Don't try and make it magic.
Yeah,
if you're not good at it.
That's why I'm always happy when I see you at a show, because I know that if the volume gets fucked up at any point, you're gonna go fix it.
Yeah,
because I know it bothers you.
It drives me nuts. Well, that's one of those, when you know the solution to the problem, you can't. Like, it's hard not to be like, don't, here, look, it's 2 + 2 = 4. Come on, just do it right. Because then I've got to get up there and talk into it. And if I've got to talk into it and it sounds jacked up from there, then I'm just going to be distracted, and that's going to be bad. I don't want to pull a Trump and be like, fire the sound guy. He's the one that doesn't know how the equipment works. I don't want to be that guy. But yeah, I like making sure that it's right, just because it's easier for everybody too. Because if you don't have if something's fucked up in the sound system and everybody can hear it, then that's one more distraction that you have to get past. And I'm not that funny. I need there to not be a lot of distractions. So get that shit out of the way early.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing that no one's funny if they're distracted. Like, I mean, if you have one person that's like consistently talking and taking away from your focus or like any kind of distraction, no one's fucking funny, dude.
It's always some pretty girl or some girl that thinks she's pretty.
Yeah.
That needs that attention, and it drives me insane. Absolutely insane. Because audiences get just as easily distracted. And that's one of the reasons that I'm a big Hofstadter fan, is just because of the way he can own a room and run people off when they're misbehaving. Because it ruins everything. It's it's a pain in the butt.
Well, see, the good thing with me is I'm hearing impaired anyway, so I can't hear if people are talking anyways.
I got too many acronyms, man. I hear everything.
Yeah. Shout out to Steve Hofstadter as well. We need to get him on this show.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's
Compton.
Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's your thing. Sorry.
I know. I was just gonna ask you because we've been friends for a while now, man. I met you when I was 18. I'm about to turn 21. So that's roughly 3 years we've known each other.
Yeah.
And I've never once had the basic conversation with you of why and how you started comedy. I've never asked you why and how have you started comedy, Compton?
Well, it's kind of a conflated story. I was at a point where I had just left a really cool job. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Floribama, but really big music venue / bar down on the beach. I was an audio engineer there, and Trump happened basically, and things went weird at the Bama, and I just cut cord and bailed. So I was kind of looking for a job. I was kind of looking for something to do, and was kind of looking for something to fit my 5-10 year version of a plan. And I'd always been a comedy fan ever since I was a kid, and a lot of my academic pursuits were very comedy adjacent. I studied rhetoric in college and grad school, so the art of persuasion and manipulation of communication was always something that fascinated me. And turns out I did not suck at, which when I worked for the casino industry, I was very good at bullshitting, and it served me well. So I've always been interested in things that were comedy in its different pieces, and being a fan of comedy, I think eventually led me to. I'd never considered trying it, but when I was presented with the opportunity, it didn't take me long to decide that that's something that I wanted to try. And being a comedian is something that I can do from a remote location and travel. So it checked a lot of boxes for me as something that I wanted to pursue in the long term.
So when did you decide that you wanted to do comedy like as a full-time career?
Instantly. From the first time I got on an open mic, I decided I wanted to make this a living, which is one of the reasons that I got into producing shows so early, because no comic, nobody that knows anything about comedy is going to tell you that you can make a living at it. That's
Right.
Not feasible. But I took a look around at the landscape and saw that it didn't matter how good I got. It didn't matter how much time I got. The best people in town weren't making any money. There weren't any shows. And having the experience of everything that goes into a show, speaking the language of bars, the food and beverage industry, being an audio engineer, having been a bartender before, et cetera, that I was in a pretty good spot to make that happen. So that's why I went the producer route, was to just start learning the business before I ever really made any money telling jokes. I mean, it takes a long time to get paid well to tell jokes, and as a 3.5 year comic now, that's a horizon that's still a ways off. So finding ways to supplement that, and coming up with alternatives, which digital media has done a lot for that. I need to up that game a little bit, but yeah, comedy for me was something that I can do from my farm, which I always knew I was going to end up back here at my family farm, and I still wanted to have a little bit of that traveling lifestyle and get out and do shit. And comedy is a great solution for that. And I've always been very adept at public speaking. So for me, the biggest problem that I have in comedy is learning how to be funny. You know, once I figure that out, it should be okay.
That's awesome, man. I didn't know that I wanted to do comedy like full time as a career, pursue that until I don't know, man, maybe like yesterday.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
still pondering it.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about it actually. Maybe it's not a good idea.
It's a horrible idea. That's what makes it so fun.
I want to break in here for a second and say thank you for the follow, Jessica McGee, who just popped up in Twitch.
Ooh, thanks, Jessica.
Ooh. So Compton, what's your what's your 5-year plan at this point? Like, do you have one?
5-year plan?
Yeah, like what's your vision board look like?
Yeah, well, right now it's barely comedy related. We've got a little hemp business that I'm starting here at my place, which is very nice. Alabama has been pretty wise in the way that they're developing their hemp program, which gives local farmers and small farmers an opportunity to revitalize some old farms, which is what I'm hoping to do here. So that eats up a pretty good chunk of my time. But as far as comedy goes, I was just in Tuscaloosa last night. Like I said, I was in Birmingham Tuesday. So still a lot going on there. Definitely part of the 5-year plan. The 5-year picture includes the Mobile Comedy Festival, which is coming back this year, which is going to be a very good time. Zeke Buckholtz and Toulouse, Jacques West over in Mobile came up with that idea, and it went over really well. Everybody had a really good time. Unfortunately, we couldn't do it last year. It would have been the second annual. This should be the third annual, but is the second annual in 2021. Hopefully that will have grown and will still be around. And then
when's that going to be?
What's that?
When is that going to be?
It's the second week in August. I'm pretty sure it's the second week in August. It's the 8th through the 15th this year. Primarily centered around a comedy competition. Anybody that applies is in the pool to win a $500 cash prize. And there are going to be a whole bunch of shows around that, but that's the primary draw.
That's cool.
Yeah, I need to get my submission video edited and sent over to you guys for that.
Yeah, me too.
Don't worry too much about the editing. Send the money. That's all they care about.
Yeah, I'll just send a 10-minute video along with the money.
Yeah.
The video is a formality in case we have to make some cuts. I think you guys will be fine.
Yeah, I think I'll edge in there somehow.
I think the other big piece in the 5-year plan for me is the same thing that I've always wanted to do from the production side is fill the holes in the comedy scenes, and
love filling holes.
Yeah, as many as we can, and put the run together. We've talked about for a really long time. I'm sure people talked about it before I got into comedy, about how great it would be to have a run across I-10, just through Mississippi, Alabama, and part of the Panhandle, because there are no comedy clubs down here.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as the comedy scene goes, not having a comedy club makes things tricky.
Absolutely.
So, myself and some other comics have talked about before, right before COVID, we were looking pretty hard at bringing that to fruition, much like some of the guys in Ocean, I guess it was Ocean Springs. I mean, LB and those guys from the Wayward Kraken had discussed it. And COVID put a crimp in those plans, but that's something that's needed, and I think it's something that it could be viable on the Gulf Coast, especially if you can make it worth the comics wild, and crack the marketing. The marketing is really weird. You know, Louis C.K. can sell out the Sanger, Jerry Seinfeld can sell out the Sanger, but developing crowds for the smaller shows has proven a lot more difficult than that. So, finding the right balance, solving some of those formulas and equations, and trying to grow the comedy scene just across Alabama in general. Also exploring any opportunities that I can to help Richard and RJ and Lauren Lamphere running a mic up in Tuscaloosa, which is closer. That's only an hour away from me, so helping those guys however I can to save some gas money has been good. So I think that kind of fills out a good 5-year picture. But hopefully the business will cover me doing crazy shit like running around and trying to get on as many open mics as I can across the wide Southeast.
See, you were talking about getting the crowds for smaller shows. I mean, I think we were well on our way to establishing that before COVID hit, and then and now it's just sort of like it's hard to get people to come out, and it's still dangerous for people to come out too. To comedy shows, you don't want to have too many people there. That kind of thing. So I don't know. I hope we can pick up where we left off once everything kind of gets back to I wouldn't say normal, but back to where people can actually go places again without worrying about dying.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely get there. Historically, pandemics peter out around 18 months, which puts us right in the range of June. And I've heard a lot of experts saying that that's when we could start to see a real shift in the tides to where things are headed in a more normal direction. Where that normal needle lands, your guess is as good as mine. But I'm pretty sure as animals, we're going to forget very quickly how much terrible danger we're in and go right back to being dumb and convenient and lazy, because that's what we really want. I think most people are tired of making history, if anything. I'm getting fucking sick of it. I can't imagine if I'd only ever known just making history every couple years, because it's getting tedious.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know we're on a podcast right now. Haven't you had a little idea for a podcast of your own?
Yeah, I had a podcast for a while. Yeah. Technically, I have a podcast, truthloveandpeace.com. There are 60 episodes of that podcast up there. A lot of great local comics, a lot of great local musicians from the Gulf Coast. And I had a lot of fun doing that. The reason I quit doing that one was because not being able to sit down in front of people and the political climate just kind of got me off it, and had bigger fish to fry at the moment. But the reason that I'm bringing back a different podcast is because that podcast was long format. TLP was long philosophical conversations about crazy fun stuff. But I wanted to do something that is a little more in line with the attention span that most people have these days. So the governor and I, Martin Wright from I guess he calls Biloxi home now.
We need to get him on here.
Yeah, for sure. The governor's he's a great conversationalist. But dude, we're already down to 8 minutes.
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah,
dude.
We need sponsors so we can upgrade.
You should have told me. We could have used my Zoom thing.
I already used all of our money to get like domain names and all that stuff.
Fair. That's fair. The new podcast is going to be called Burning the Set List, and Governor and I are mostly going to be centered around comics and old material that we can shit on and discuss in depth. It's going to be fun. But TLP will probably be back in some version once we get past the Zoom meetings, because I think those conversations are better in person. But this is something fun that we can do, and we can do it in a small scale, and pack it together tight. Andrew Schultz is the guy that's painted a good picture for everybody. So following some of his models on putting something together.
Yeah, I'm hoping to do
join you guys' show. I mean, plug you guys for a minute. I saw the great research blunder.
God damn it!
We have to work it in every week now.
I think it should be your new recurring theme, to be perfectly honest. It was comedy gold. And but yeah, I saw the episode with Craig, and you guys do a fun job, so I appreciate it. It makes me want to talk more, seeing people do it, so I appreciate it.
I'm hoping that once everything gets back to normal, my main goal is to have a space an office space where we can do this podcast live with people, in studio. That's been my main goal for years now, is to have my own little office space where I can do live, do it live and have people in person. Because doing it over Zoom's okay, but I'd much rather be in a room with you guys. I feel like the conversation would be way more natural if we're sitting around a table and just bullshitting.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was our plan before COVID too, was to try to find a space. And then of course COVID happened and we were like, hey, perfect fucking opportunity.
Yeah.
I think that's the good side of the pandemic is anytime you've got a forced reset, everybody gets to take a fresh look at where we were, what the possibilities are. So I think without encouraging people to go out and put themselves in harm's way now, the people that are venturing out are being able to see very clearly what the flaws in the previous attempts were, and ways to catapult what we've found as audiences online into something that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I'm not suggesting people go out and put themselves in harm's way, but for the people that are doing it, I think we're going to see some really cool stuff in the next few months, maybe about 6 months, but I think it's going to be cool. For sure.
I hate that we're coming up to the end. Like, I could talk to you for hours, but one of the things we always ask people before we leave is, what advice would you give to somebody who wants to get into comedy?
Do it. Do it for sure. I think my best advice for anybody that gets up at a mic the first time is, if you are worried about writing material and writing jokes, the best thing to do to just get on stage and get the motivation, get the wheels turning, is to think about one or two stories that you tell your whole life, the stories that make up who you are, because you're never going to forget those stories. You remember those details. So you take that on stage, just tell that story. It may or may not be funny, but if you can get that one rep in to where you made it through what you got up there to do and have a story that you've told so many times it's going to be easy for you to tell, then that's enough to get the ball rolling. For a lot of people.
I think another thing that really scares people, especially people that I know come to see us do open mic nights, like friends and people you meet there that you see all the time, and they're like, I want to do it, but I'm scared. It's like, you don't have to do a whole 5 minutes. I've seen people get up there and tell one joke and then they're done. It's like, just get up there and do, tell one story or something you think's funny. It could be a minute long. It could be, 5 minutes long. Just get up there and get that taste for it and see if you like, because you'll know instantly if you get that high and you're like, I got to do this again, or you're like, I'm never going up there again. Yeah. And then when the bug bites, you'll be hard pressed to ever not do 5 minutes again. Like, I'm always like, let me get one more joke in. Let me have enough time to get one more joke in. It's once you get bit by that bug, being on stage and having the opportunity to work is something. You'll get over that one joke real quick if you enjoy it, and otherwise you've learned a lesson. See, like,
Compton, real quick, promote your show, your upcoming show in Panama City.
Oh, Panama City, Slapsticks, Cues, and Brews. We do the second Friday of every month, and we feature a rotating cast of local and regional comics. So check it out, Slapsticks, Cues, and Brews in Panama City.
Sounds good. And before we go, tell everybody where they can find you on the interwebs.
I'm Googleable, man. You can throw Compton Smith in just about any search engine and find me pretty quick. If you put a .com after it, that'll take you to my website, which has all the Facebook links and all that good stuff. ComptonSmith.com, that's the easiest way to find it all.
Just type in whitest man with the blackest name on the planet, and you'll come up Compton Smith.
It is. It's right there.
And Jacob, we got coming up. We got the roast battle on the 22nd at the District on the Alley in Gulfport. And you got, what else? You got a show coming up too.
Yes, I have two shows. Tomorrow night, for those of us watching live on Twitch right now, I'm opening for Corey Mack at District on the Alley at 9 p.m. And February 12th, I'm going to be at B-Lux with the fabulous crew from Aquaries. You can come and see what all they do live as far as performing entertainment and all of that. And I'm very remiss that we are getting out of here today without talking about the time Compton's balls ended up on my face. So that's
he's got to come back so he can tell that story.
You have to come back so you can talk about your balls being on my face.
We'll just reset the meeting and we'll just keep going.
I would. I got another podcast I got to do right after this one.
Oh, well.
We'll start our own podcast, Compton. We'll start our own podcast, and we'll call it Balls on Face.
Yeah. Dude,
and we're just
text me anytime. I'll put us live on wherever you want.
Absolutely. We'll call ourselves headliners instead of open micers.
Yeah. Well, let me play some music here because we're under a minute. If you'd like to email us, you can email us at openmicerspodcast@gmail.com. We're at openmicers and on Twitter and Open Micers Podcast on Facebook. We have a TeePublic now, so you can go get all your merchandise. Just go to one of our social medias and click the links, and it'll take you right there. Get your T-shirts, your mugs, masks, whatever you need. Thank you, Compton, and thank you guys for watching. We'll be back next Thursday. Awesome. I'm sure.
On command, boy. You didn't even have to hit the soundboard that time.
Bye, everybody on Twitch. I'll be back in just a little.